Hey, what's up? I got some more lore content for you guys. So we got a lot of new stuff today. It's June now, so I'm rocking my summer attire. Maybe I'll get a tan at the beach. I have absolutely no idea how that'd look, but more importantly, the patch 2.9.0 notes just dropped, so I'm going to take a look at what the changes are going into the next patch. Before I get into the run through, if you're new, please consider hitting the subscribe button to stay up to date with my content. I make deck profiles, beginner friendly videos, gameplay highlights, and other lore related stuff. The road to 5k is going strong, and I'm only around 500 subs away, so it'd be awesome if you joined. I also stream on Twitch often, so check me out over there if you're looking for live gameplay. With that, let's get into the patch notes. So this is the first time I'm actually seeing these changes. This will be my first impression and my best analysis of how it's going to affect the meta. Couple side notes, I apologize for the lack of uploads. I explained this on my stream and in my Discord, but I was out of town visiting some family for someone's birthday, so that was a lot of fun, and now I have more family that's coming here, so uploads and streams are going to be sporadic for a little bit, so I apologize, but let's get into this. This is a, I hope, pretty big patch. This is probably one of the most attentive patches in terms of people are paying the most attention to it and are going to have a lot of takes on this and how it's going to affect the meta, because prior to this patch, we have been in one of the least enjoyable metas of all time in the game. A lot of people are agreeing on, and I would say it was my least enjoyable diamond experience getting to master as well. So we'll see what's going on, if they're going to tackle the problems directly, if we're getting some indirect things. I have absolutely no idea. The patch notes just came out, 20 minutes ago. I got up and I started recording. So let's get it. Card updates. We've seen a lot of conversation. Should I read all this? It's not a whole lot. Yeah, let's go ahead. We've seen a lot of conversation in the community lately on the topic of live design. Players are passionate about it, and we're passionate about it as well. We believe that live design is strongly connected to one of our fundamental beliefs, which is that every player should be able to access to all the cards and all decks without spending money. That fundamental aspect of Legends of Runeterra unlocks our team to be able to make card updates without punishing players for past card and deck acquisition choices. Ultimately, our goal is to make Legends of Runeterra the most fun we can. When making live decisions, we don't focus on any single aspect. We use complex data models on card usage, region usage, win rates, deck lists, performance versus specific decks, different formats, different ranks, win rate disparity, performance over time, 6 consoles, etc. We also consider a complex model of how decks feel relative to the meta, and we survey the community regularly to learn how players feel about cards, specific decks, archetypes, metagame health. Sure. We try to focus our changes to... Oh, this, you know what this sounds like? This sounds like a follow-up to the Reddit post. This this sounds almost like an apology, but just more statistics and talking, we also try to let the community find new ways to evolve playstyles. That process is fun. Sure, okay. There are times when it's clear that changes are necessary to ensure the experience is fun and exciting. Talia and Malphite are both clear examples that need live design attention, so these are getting buffed immediately. Frame 1, perfect. It's an easy decision to make because so many of our inputs into the decision making process clearly indicate that Talia, Malphite, and their primary decks are not meeting our standard. Aurelia and Azir are not so obvious because there are different inputs that contradict each other, and it takes time to gather information to make a decision. In the first 3 weeks of Guardians of the Ancient, we have seen Aurelia and Azir's deck rise and fall in popularity and efficacy. Over time, our decision on whether or not we should make balance changes on the deck has shifted. We love the play pattern of Aurelia Azir as well as Blade Dance. Okay, that's already like a pretty crazy take right off the bat. I mean, I like it too, but you can't just say that. It feels like you're about to get attacked. We've learned that a ton of players love it too. Yes, that includes me. I like it. And we want to keep the feel of the deck intact. However, our most recent information indicates the deck is just too powerful. Really? Interesting. It took the recent information to realize that and not like a week of play. Alright, fair enough. So we're making 2 very targeted changes. We hope to maintain the fun while opening up opportunities for other strategies and to reduce the frustration of playing against it. We'll continue to monitor the metagame as it evolves, and we'll consider more changes going forward if necessary. We're always learning and improving Legends of Runeterra and our processes. Sometimes we'll make mistakes, but we'll always do our best to listen to all of our players and improve along the way. We're all on this journey together, and the community's passion and love for the game inspires us to always do better. Thanks for the feedback over the last few weeks. Keep it coming. Dova. So it is the person that made the Reddit post. So, alright. It's formatted very much like a Reddit thread, so that's where I saw the similarities. Let's get into the changes themselves though. Talia, level 1, going from a 2-4 to a 3-5, so a 1-1 stat boost is very relevant. Her leveled up form also has the +1/+1 to mirror the changes, which makes a lot of sense. So she's going to be a 4-6, very good. I think pre-level Talia being a 3-5 is a little bit more relevant than the evolved form getting the stats, so we will see how this does. I think the effects of Talia and how the deck works is just bad, not Talia herself, but having 5 HP is going to make her a little bit stickier. Maybe we can actually resolve her and get some of her plays out and maybe see how the deck performs and where we can improve and actually have like a decent proving grounds for her. So pretty good change. Step in the right direction. Malphite's picture did not load in, so we got Malphite level 1. You summon 12 plus mana of landmarks, you summon 10 plus mana of landmarks. So if you just run Eye of Raharok and you Daybreak and play it, that will instantly level up Malphite, so he's going to be a lot easier. Both Talia and Malphite have struggled to find a home in the meta. We like how the deck plays, and these buffs add more power into the champions in a way that shouldn't drastically change their archetypes. Talia should feel a little more sturdy, and Malphite should level up more consistently. Sure, I think that's great. Now, for Malphite decks, you can run like a couple less landmarks and add a little bit more consistency cards, a little bit more draw, a little bit more power, a little bit more value, pretty much anything, because now he should just be easier to level and you shouldn't brick on all of your landmarks. So that is great change. Blossoming Blade picture also just didn't load. Going from a 4 cost to a 5 cost and being a 4/3 to compensate, getting 1 attack. Having a no strong turn 4 is actually going to be extremely relevant. This is a great change. This is going to slow down the deck by 1 turn, essentially. Now, what that means by itself, I don't exactly know until I see it played out multiple times, if it's like a massive change, which I think it is. So we shall see. It also means you can't play multiple in a turn efficiently, of course, or, you know, Blossoming Blade being hit also nerfs the value of Flawless Duet and Retreat Return and stuff like that. So you have to think about it. A lot of cards have to do with mana, and if this card itself is 1 more, then that's 1 less you're working with, which hurts your combos, quote unquote. Inspiring Marshal going from 5 to 6. Base stats from 4/5 to 4/6 to compensate? Wow. It's getting the same treatment of Blossoming Blade, 1 more mana but 1 more stat point, so it's less valuable in total, but it's still getting a buff plus a nerf. Okay. 6 costs, coming online a little bit later. I think this will give a lot of counter decks room to develop and like actually get a condition going, and they're not being absolutely hard stumped by this card, because Marshall coming down is so much pressure to deal with. You have to avert all of your focus onto this card or you lose, and if you avert all your focus to this card, depending on how many resources you use, you also lose because you just go so down. But we'll see what's going on here. It's become clear that the Aurelia and Azir deck is too powerful. Ultimately, we decide to focus our changes on Inspiring Marshal and Blossoming Blade to ensure that our changes focus on this deck. We want to reduce the amount of collateral damages to other decks such as Azir Burn, Azir Lucian, both of which we think are healthy for the game. This specific deck will remain on our watch list, and we will continue to monitor its performance over time. So 2 very strong pieces of the puzzle being increased by 1 should slow it down in theory, so we'll see how that works. Sparring Student is still untouched. You gotta keep that in mind. Azir Aurelia still full power. Everything is working, you know, as per usual, except for these 2. Interesting. I actually don't know how that's gonna work, and that's it for the actual changes. Wow, no cards, like no non-champion cards are getting hit. It's literally just 2 buffs, 2 nerfs. So it's not a big patch in terms of changes, but it is a big patch in terms of meta implications, which is pretty good, I'd say. Definitely something that we needed. Labs. Patch 2.9 brings new champions powers to labs. Oh, new champions for Lab of Legends? That's a lot of fun. Aurelia, Zillion, Malphite, Lysandra, and Fizz have been added to the starting champion roster. Get a Malphite card back for completing a run with each. New support champions added. Sedge, Leona, Yas, Victor, and they have some cards with them too. Seems cool. 18 new powers have been added. 10 common, 5 rare, 3 epic. Well, this is going to change speedrunning, maybe. That seems crazy. It's also going to hurt your chances of seeing the epics and rares that you need, and you're going to see a lot more commons, so it's probably going to hurt Lab of Legends speedrunning more than it helps. Nice. Love to see that. Wow. Talia rocks. Okay, hopefully. That's kind of funny. Dual queue, shared spoils, more deck consistency. Players can now bring 0-2 decks with them rather than 0-3, so they'll always see any decks they bring as options. Okay, 0-3. Right, okay. Players will be given a chance to add their teammate as a friend if they're solo queuing. Oh, that's neat. As announced in 2.7 with the patch of 2.9, cross-shard friend challenge will no longer be supported. Oh. Man, that's so tragic. I love cross-shard friend challenges. I play with my viewers all the time from cross-shard. This is just lame. This feels like the most lame thing ever. As lore continues to grow, we're beginning to run up against challenges caused by outdated tech. Cross-shard friend challenge is one of our main culprits, and it's currently taking resources that we need to develop some of lore's most exciting features planned for further along in the pipeline. We'll have more information on social features for lore in the future. Dude, this is the exact same thing that they said about Dominion in League of Legends. Oh, having Dominion here is hurting our ability to make better stuff. No, it's not. It's not doing anything by being here. You need to email me the data because I literally just don't believe this. I think this is either fabricated, exaggerated, or straight BS. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. It cannot be that hard to be able to play with friends from a different server. It cannot be. We've had it this whole time. It cannot be hurting anything. That's all I'm saying. Like, I would literally need to see the data. Otherwise, I'm never going to believe this, and I'm just going to have this pain in my heart over this change because I still fault League for not having Dominion in, at least as a custom game, to this day, and I really, really hate that. So, you know. Moving on though, bug fixes, fixed a visual bug, okay. Attempting to purchase cards or prismatics while inspecting cards, okay. Fixed an issue, skin names, fixed an issue, quest had duplicate criteria, scrying stance now correctly gives an enemy 2-0 even if the player casting it cannot predict. Oh, spell shield now correctly blocks scrying sands. I saw this. A couple people in the Discord were talking about this. I was like, hello? Scrying sands just going through spell shield? That is not balanced. Create blade surge in hand on attack, the turn she levels. Right, so, okay. Fixed an issue with shaping the bear would sometimes incorrectly show the wrong keyword. Give it all. Perfectly power without negative power. Moon weapon should no longer cause spells to overlap. Howling Abyss should no longer incorrectly trigger deep or sun disk animations. Oh, that's funny. Howling Abyss should no longer create invisible cards. Wow, Howling Abyss kind of bugged, wasn't it? From the pack, several improvements. Alright, cool. That's everything. Interesting. So to recap, I think Talia Malphite step in the right direction, Azir Aurelia step in the right direction, nothing too major, no other cards hit, so everything else is going to stay about the same. We have to keep a mindful eye on TLC. If Azir Aurelia gets completely kicked out of the meta, TLC is going to be very good, so I'm not hoping for that, of course, because that deck is not fun to fight. And that's it for this one. Please like and subscribe if you thought this video was informative or entertaining. It really helps me out since I'm still trying to grow. I'll be releasing more deck profiles, guides, and gameplay highlights in the near future. Thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Laters.